guys, and welcome back to our Focus Youth Ministry web series. It's been a long time since we've last recorded or we've last done any posts whatsoever in our Focus Youth Ministry like page and our YouTube account. The reason being is that I was away for a little time visiting my grandmother in El Salvador. And for today's Testimony Tuesday, I will share what occurred over there. So without further ado, let's watch some video clips of my trip to El Salvador.
Hola amigos guapísimos, hola amigos, hoy estoy en Salvador.
So I will start my testimony with a verse that I felt like I really put it into practice these past couple 4 weeks. The verse states, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." People over there solely rely on faith for everything. One of the reasons that I had to go to El Salvador was to go visit my grandmother who was sick. My grandmother was not able to use the restroom as we are used to using. And she had a bacteria in an area of her body which prevented her from using the restroom properly. And so they took her to this hospital. It's a hospital for, I guess, for people who can't afford an actual, stay of a hospital. And they are in a room that's pretty small that hardly fits 3 beds. Just imagine a closet, but not your closet, but like your parents' closet, that it's pretty big, but it's not that big. Well, something like that. And it fit like 3 beds. So to start off, they're already in an uncomfortable, they have to share their space with 2 other patients. So it's really difficult. It's very different over there. But one of the things that it did bring, this unconformity, was togetherness and faith. Why faith? Because each one of them, they might have been sick, they might have been feeling at the point of death, but they had faith that they trusted in God, that God would take them out. And with that said, I'm going to show some clips of what I mean about them relying on faith and trusting in God, that God was going to them.
Es tú mi Rey de Gloria, en el nombre de Jesucristo poderoso santo.
I arrived for my daily visit. I saw my grandmother unconscious. She was not responding to the nurses. It was the most scariest thing that I've ever witnessed. Honestly, I thought she was on the verge of death because she looked dead to me. She was not responding. She was probably breathing very slowly, and so that scared me. At that moment, I knew that the only one who could give me refuge was God. And I left the scene and I went somewhere, and of course I was crying. It was very heartbreaking to me, but at that moment I prayed and I started facing, and sometimes faith is easier said than done, when you're faced with certain things in your life. You want to rely on faith, but sometimes it's hard, because when you actually witness it, you start doubting like Thomas did, and doubting like Peter did when he was walking in the water, because you witness, you're looking down and you're like, no wait, I can actually sink here. Exactly, kind of how I was feeling, but at the same time, I was reminded of what faith really means, that you have to believe, you have to have hope. And so I began having hope even though I was scared, I was believing in God, and I feel like that God did answer my prayer at that moment. Once I went back and I calmed down, they were like, no, your grandma's ready for you. She's asking for you. And so I moved forward. Faith does work. Trusting in God does work. Believe in Him that He will answer any prayer. You might be going through something at this moment that makes it seem like your prayer might not be answered. Believe in God. Have hope in Him that He will. A couple weeks later, as in last week, my grandma was sent home, thankfully. Not only my prayers, but the church that has been praying for me, for my grandmother, and everyone, my family members who have been praying for my grandmother. The things that we have to learn is patience. Patience that even though He doesn't answer immediately, it might take 4 weeks like it took us for Him to answer. God answers right on time. And keep moving forward and keep having faith in God. We will see you tomorrow with Wow Wednesday. The posts will be coming more often. I'm back recording. So God bless you, and remember, stay focused, God focused.